Hello and most welcome to 1504. Continue on page 268 where we left off in Stephen and Rosen. How can we signify being, semiotics and topological self-signification? The foregoing passage describes Cézanne's discovery that primal dimensionality is not space taken in abstraction from its content, but is the unbroken flow from container to content. It is in this sense of the internal mediation of container and content that Cézanne's depth dimension is self-containing. Merleau-Ponty also makes it clear that the primal dimension engages embodied subjectivity. The dimension of depth goes towards rings, from as a starting point this body to which I am myself fastened. In commenting that there are forms and definite planes only if it is stipulated how far from me their different parts are. Merleau-Ponty is conveying the same idea. A little later he goes further. The painter's vision is not a view upon the outside, a merely physical optical relation with the world. The world no longer stands before him through representation. Rather, it is the painter to whom the things of the world give birth by a sort of concentration or coming to itself of the visible. Ultimately, the painting relates to nothing at all among experienced things, unless it is first of all auto-figurative. The spectacle is first of all a spectacle of itself before it is a spectacle of something outside of it. In this passage, the painting of which Merleau-Ponty speaks, in drawing upon the originary dimension of depth, draws in upon itself. Painting of this kind is not merely a signification of objects, but a concrete self-signification that surpasses the division of object and subject. In sum, the phenomenological dimension of depth, as described by Merleau-Ponty, is 1. The thirst dimension, in that it is the source of the Cartesian dimensions, which are idealization of it. It is 2. A self-containing dimension. Not merely a container for contents that are taken as separate from it. And it is 3. A dimension that blends subject and object concretely, rather than serving as a static staging platform for the objectifications carried out by a detached subject. In realizing depth, we surpass the concept of space as but an inert container and come to understand it as an aspect of an indivisible cycle of action in which the contained and uncontained, object and subject, are integrally incorporated. And when the depth dimension is elucidated topologically, it proves to be a Kleinian dimension. Figure 6 is my adaptation of communications theories, Paul Ryan's 1993 linear schemata for the Klein bottle. According to Ryan, the three basic features of the Klein bottle are part contained, part uncontained, and part containing. We see here how the part contained opens out to form the perimeter of the container, and how this in turn passes over into the uncontained aspects. The three parts of the structure thus flow into one another into a single self-containing movement. Symbolized here in 2 dimensions is the process by which 3-dimensional object of the life world, in the act of containing itself, is fluidly transformed into the subject. This blueprint for phenomenological interrelatedness gives us a graphic indication of how the mutually exclusive categories of classical thinking are surpassed by a free-fall relation of mutual inclusion. It is in this relation that it is expressed in the primal dimension of depth. So in the primal dimension of depth, which is first, all others are derived. But even if you add all of them, they won't amount to the origin. They are random takes on the original dimension. They are not as exact as they pertain to be. Rather, they are random, momentarily fixed positions. I conclude there and say thank you very much and have a very pleasant night. Bye bye for now.